Let's try some spell checking and replacing text. On the screen you can see two lines of text which are identical and which contain some obvious errors. Let's look at spell checking first. And to start the process, you need to decide how you want to select the text. The most efficient way is to use a fence. And since you're likely to want to spell check the entire drawing, you would typically place a fence around all elements in the design. I'll just place a fence around my two lines of text, since that's all I have in this particular design at the moment. And then we'll start the spell check tool, which is on the text tools box, and it's the ABC icon, spell checker. We click on that. The tool settings window shows me that I'm using a fence, and the mode is inside, which is fine for what I need here. The status line says accept the selection set, which means data point in the design, so I'd left click. The spell checker box appears on the screen, and the first error that it finds is highlighted and enlarged in the center of the screen. As for a normal spell checker, it offers suggestions. I'm going to obviously choose the elbow suggestion and make the change. Now I can make the single change, or I could change all in this case. Let's just do the single change for the moment. The first one has been changed, and the second one has popped into place again in the center of the screen, waiting for action. We'll change that one too. And that's done. Now the other three words in the sentences are of course perfectly correct, but the grammar is not. And both you and I are on our own as far as grammar goes. There is no grammar check in MicroStation. So the next thing to do in a large drawing is to find text that we know is incorrect and replace it. So I'm going to get rid of my fence, and I'm going to move that text around the drawing. I'm busily changing the location of my view here so I can't see that actual text. And we'll start the Find Text option. So this time we go to Edit and Find and Replace Text. What text do I want to replace? Well, I need to find to, TWO, and replace it with TOO, which is the correct grammar. So we'll hit Find, zip, and in it comes. It's found the first of the two text strings and place that in the center of the view and highlight it. I can now change that. Let's replace all. Both are changed. Now I need to change the R to is. The box tells me it's done that, and I can restore the original view if I want, but I don't, so I just simply say OK. And go in and replace R with is. And let's replace all again. Now the elbow is too big, which is just fine. We can say OK to that. So far so good. We can turn the Find and Replace tool off. And now just to remind you of the method you used in the Level 1 course, which was the Select by Attributes tool. Let's try this again. I'm going to again move the text out of the view. Let's go to Edit and Select by Attributes. And now we have to make some choices. We need to find text, so we'll do that first. There's text. All the other element types are turned off automatically. I don't particularly know what level the text is on. I need to find the text string itself. So to do that, I go to Settings and Text. Brings up a separate box. And I need a text string. And the text string is now, having pressed the Execute button, you might think that the text string will pop into place on the screen, as it did for the previous two tools, but that's not the case with this. I'm going to dismiss that Select by Text for the moment. In this case, the text string has been selected, but we can't see it because it's off the screen. So we need to find it, and I'll just use a Fit View for that. So click on Fit View. My two text strings now appear on the screen, and the red one is the highlighted one. So now I can deal with that as I wish. If I want to keep that highlight, then when I dismiss the Select by Attributes box, I get the standard warning to either say OK and keep the selection set, or click Cancel and dismiss the selection set. I will say OK. And my red text is still selected, and now I can deal with that as I wish. So, as always, go forth and practice. Throw some text on the screen or use an existing drawing you may have. Make some deliberate changes to some of the text in those drawings and do the search and find and replace and spell checking.